Welcome to Review Every Ship by CitizenCon 2024. The point is to give an update on every ship since some haven't had a video made about them in years, and others, the information is simply too spread out to be helpful in making decisions. Remember, digital ships aren't imaginary, digital ships are imaginescence. Every month we do a giveaway to give back to this wonderful community. This month's giveaway prize is going to be either an Anvil Terrapin, or if we hit 6,500 human subscribers before CitizenCon, I will give away an Anvil Carrack. So, make sure you share the channel and tell your org mates to come and check us out. To enter the contest, make sure you're subscribed to Billionaire Ninjas, leave a comment on at least one video, and like or dislike at least one video. Winners have 2 weeks to claim their prize. Members collectively have a 25% chance of winning just for being members. So if you're subscribed, consider hitting that join button. And if you're not subscribed, I appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. For the full giveaway details, make sure you visit our Billionaire Ninjas Discord or our social media at Ninjas Leap. Today, we begin our trip through the Roberts Space Industries, aka RSI, manufacturer. And the next ships are the RSI Apollo and its one variant. We have the Apollo Triage, $250 standalone, $225 warbond, $225 at concept. Cost in game is unknown. The Apollo Medevac, $275 standalone, $250 warbond was $250 at concept. Cost in game is unknown. All the Apollo series is time limited for purchase. These ships are still in concept, so no rental prices either. An interesting thing about the Apollo Medevac, in order to purchase it, you must play the game Astromedics on the RSI website and score over 100,000 points to gain the ability to purchase the ship. I'll link to the game in a pinned comment for people who are interested. It's a cool little feature, and I hope CIG brings back the practice of making people earn the right to purchase certain ships through completing certain tasks. It's a great way to make ships feel a bit more exclusive. The legendary Apollo chassis from Roberts Space Industries is the gold standard in medevac and rapid emergency response, having provided critical aid to the known universe for well over 2 centuries. Along with superior armor and dual missile racks, the 2948 Apollo Medevac model pays homage to the classic 2910 film Astromedics, Back from the Brink, with livery that accurately recreates the headlining Kithara, the Apollo Triage and Apollo Medevac.
You know, Stallion, it's too bad we gotta get old, huh?
Just keep punching, Apollo. Want to ring the bell?
All right. Ding, ding.
Look and fly.
Look out now. No, you don't want any of this. Come on, come on.
Maybe I'm in here with the wrong guy.
Come on, watch yourself. Ready?
For measurements, the Triage and Medevac are the same. Length 43 meters, beam 30 meters, height 10 meters. They are all size 3 medium ships. Think somewhere between the size of the Mole and the size of the Valkyrie, which should be around the same size as the Zeus Mark II. My guess is this ship will have to grow a bit after looking at how difficult it was for them to fit everything into the Zeus, which doesn't have any large removable components like this does. And the fact that this is supposed to be the larger medical ship compared to the Cutlass Red, but we'll have to wait and see. For crew, the Apollo series all have the same minimum crew, which is 1, and maximum crew of 2. Also, a quick reminder, we're also starting a separate monthly giveaway for people who watch our live streams with 2 prizes, one for YouTube stream watchers and a better one for Twitch stream watchers. Go check out the full details in our community post on our YouTube page. The Triage and the Medevac both carry 28 SCU. I expect that to grow by a small amount because of the new RSI design philosophy, so I would say closer to 32 SCU. The claim time for both the Triage and Medevac is unknown, but because it's a medical ship, I would expect it to be a bit longer than other ships that are similarly sized. So I'm thinking about 16 minutes, expedited about 5 minutes, and expedited fee of about 8,000 credits. As of 3.24.1, all the Apollos have the same speed. A top SCM speed of 205 and a max speed hasn't been revealed yet, but an educated guess for this size and roll would be about 1130, which is about the same speed as a C1 Spirit. If my numbers are correct, that would put it at an average SCM speed and above average nav max speed. Now, what I do think will happen is that the Apollo Triage will end up being the faster variant, while the Medevac, due to its armor, will be slightly slower. For maneuverability for the Apollo series is unknown, but RSI tends to be from average to above average maneuverability. Considering the medical role, I'll go with closer to above average. For weapons, the Triage comes stock with 2 size 2 pilot-controlled laser cannons, no turrets, no missiles. For weapons, the medevac comes stock with 2 size 2 pilot-controlled ballistic Gatlings, no turrets, but it does have 4 size 2 missiles split between 2 racks. The hull HP for both the triage and medevac is unknown, but I would guess they both are similar, with the medevac having a bit more than the triage. I'm thinking the triage will have about 50,000 HP and the medevac will have about 60,000 HP. So about average for the triage and slightly above average for the medevac. The shields on the triage and the medevac are also unknown, but considering the size and role, along with the new September 2024 rebalance guidance, we can most likely expect the shields to stay the same. I'm thinking both will be the Aspis industrial grade C shields, which are bubble type shields. The shield pool is about 12,000 and it regens at about 536 HP per second. Now, there is a chance the medevac comes with military grade shields, but we'll leave it as is for now. For ship parts, the Apollos all have the same size parts. 1 large radar, 2 medium computers, 1 large power plant, 2 large coolers, 2 medium shield generators, 2 medium fuel intakes, 2 medium fuel tanks, a medium quantum drive, a medium jump module, and 1 medium quantum fuel tank. Hydrogen capacity for both ships will probably be the same. I also think it will mimic the C8R as far as the class range, which is way above average. So the C8R is very above average for its class. So I'm thinking this will be the same. When it comes to quantum fuel, it should be a similar story. It should be way above average. These will probably be the most commonly used medical ships in the verse for tier 1 injuries. And I'll bet money that some injuries will keep you from using the quantum drive without further harming the patient. So you'll need to long haul certain extreme case patients. The quantum capability for both ships will definitely be interstellar, meaning you can travel anywhere in the system multiple times without refueling, and will also have fuel to make it to your next destination in a neighboring star system. This is the highest standard for long distance travel. Some special features and amenities for these ships will be, well, I can't really say as we don't have much information, but we do know there is a medical drone on board and 2 separate medical rooms, which can both hold up to 3 beds per room. I would expect suit and armor lockers for both crew and guests, along with weapon storage. And let's not forget these are dedicated medical ships with modular med bays that can go from 6 tier 3 medical beds all the way down to 2 tier 1 medical beds. My preferred loadout for the Apollo series will come later once the ship is made flyable. A quick shout out to my members, my First Ninja, StarTouch and Rob, my Hokage, Old Weeb, my Jonin Ninjas, Radium TX, Paling Tan, The Solid Exodus, Damon Donaldson, Dark Wolf God, ETL in Spades, and Sean Phillips, my Chunin Ninjas, Raygun 972, Wakan Yosai, Rage 1, Scorpio King 3, Soul Galaxia, Meat Salad, Praetorian, Jay Solis, and Waterfox Studios. Of course, thank you to all my other members from every level who are all listed at the end of the video. As always, membership is never required, but always appreciated. You help make this YouTube dream even more possible, so thank all of you. Now it's time to rate these ships. A rating I rate from 1 to 10. My 1 is only buy if you have a unique reason that is specific to you or because you like the looks of the ship. My 10 is if you have the money, these ships are almost guaranteed to be useful to you in the game. A 1 doesn't mean the ships are useless or ugly, and a 10 doesn't mean that the ships are perfect. Just remember, these are just our ratings. Please give us yours in the comments down below. And when it's a concept ship, take it with a grain of salt, eh? We're just trying to help you decide on your purchase there, eh? My rating for this ship is, of course, going to be handed out based on which variant we're looking at. Except this time, they're the same. The Triage and the Medevac are both an 8. Let's start with what I like about these ships. Well, there are only 3 ships on the roadmap that are capable of having tier 1 medical beds on board. The Endeavor, which requires an additional module and costs $350 before you get that module, and the RSI Galaxy, which requires an additional module and costs $380 before you get that module. So that leaves the Apollo, which is shaping up to be the cheapest way to own a tier 1 medical facility. That alone should tell you the value of this ship in a game that is slowly lumbering toward death of a spaceman type gameplay where dying really matters. I'm convinced that medical gameplay will be the single most essential gameplay loop in the game, and this is the only ship in the game that is both completely dedicated to the role and fully capable of serving the entire role from tier 3 to tier 1. That's not all though. I mean, just look at this ship. It's absolutely incredible looking. It reminds me of a Lamborghini for some reason. A Lamborghini medical ship? I'm excited to do a video where I try to figure out which ship has my favorite ship design, because this one is on the list. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it when that comes out. What I like about the triage is I think it'll give you the option of speed when it comes to choosing between these two ships, because I think the triage is going to be the faster of the two, and I think the one that can fight and is a little bit tougher is going to be a little bit slower, which is the medevac. And I think that's going to be the choice when it comes to these two ships. Do I want to go a little bit faster, or do I want that extra armor and protection? So, of course, what I like about the medevac is that armor and that better weapon loadout, which I think is a bit more appropriate for a game like Star Citizen, where people can get trigger happy far too easily and intrusive thoughts often win over common sense. I also think medical gameplay is going to be one of the deepest game loops, because we all know the 4 fundamental roles in RPG games. There is the high DPS, which in this size class would probably be the Vanguard Harbinger or the Freelancer Miz. This is our primary combat gameplay in Star Citizen. Then there is the tank with high defense that aggroes the enemy. At this size, that would probably be something like the Prowler. This is our multi-role and secondary combat ships in Star Citizen. Then there is the supporter, who is normally either helping the team or hurting the other team in ways that aren't necessarily combat related. At this size, this would be something like the Cutlass Blue with its Quantum Dampener, or the Vanguard Sentinel with its EMP. These are the status changers in Star Citizen. Then there is the healers, who recover those who are hurt or damaged. Well, if you're a ship, you might be looking for a Vulcan or a Crucible. But if you're a person, there will be no better sight than an Apollo. You might see a Galaxy. You better hope that one has the right module attached. You might see an Endeavor. Same thing. You better hope it has the right modules. But the Apollo will always have the right tools for the job. And you know it's capable of having all the tools. The issues with these ships though, and how I would fix them. Well, they are much too small for what they are intended to do, which is why I think they will grow before they are finished. At current size, these aren't much bigger than a Cutlass Red, which, I mean, if it's going to be a similar size, why not just put tier 1 beds in the Cutlass and be done with it? The Galaxy is 110 meters long. The Cutlass Red is 36 meters long. This one is currently 43 meters long. If this ship is meant to fit in between these ships, it should be around 70 meters long to even come close to splitting that difference. But it's only 7 meters longer than a Cutlass. Now that I've seen CIG do a similarly sized ship with the Zeus and how cramped it is in there comparatively, I don't know why they wouldn't make this ship at least 10 meters longer and 5 meters wider than it currently is. You may wonder why I care about that. Well, it's mainly because on top of that, it's a bit weird that there isn't a variant with less weapons and armor that is capable of holding 3 tier 1 beds. I get that you can mix and match, and I love that, but this sounds more like a size constraint than anything else. I also don't like the weapons loadout. It should be size 3s at this size, instead of size 2s. And I don't like that only the medevac gets missiles. They both should get missiles. The medevac should have twice the amount of size 3s as the triage, and should also have twice the amount of missiles along with it. Not because it's meant to fight, but because they're both underpowered as far as weapons for their size. So this would just bring them up to the standard. Let's not forget these ships are medium-sized ships and are supposed to be better than the Cutlass Red, which is also a medical ship and has 4 size 3s. Nobody is asking to make it a dogfighter, but we need some common sense here. I don't want to lose in a fight against another medical ship that is inferior to mine without some logical reason. Then there's the crew count. It's a bit weird to me that this ship only has a crew of 2. Are they saying you only need a pilot and 1 doctor? That sounds ridiculous when I can put up to 6 beds in this one ship. I would say a crew count of 3 makes more sense, but a crew count of 4 would actually make perfect sense. A pilot, 2 doctors, and someone to be a co-pilot/engineer. The doctors shouldn't need to fill multiple roles unless there is an emergency. They should be dedicated to their work. Give this thing the 4 beds it deserves. So why are these both an 8 if I have all those issues with it? Well, despite their flaws, these ships are quite literally going to be the best at what they do. Built from the ground up as medical ships and not medical modules, they will be dedicated ships, and those have always been said to be the best at what they were purpose-built to do. The use of medical drones is also unique to this ship, as of 3.24.2 anyway, and although we're still waiting on what that looks like, I would say this is probably going to be the way it is for a while. At the very least, it saves people running this ship the time of having to figure out how to get patients into the medical bay. These ships also look amazing, I have to say it again. They serve one of the most important purposes in the game, so they will make a ton of money. They will have deep gameplay mechanics, including drone gameplay, and modular med bays, so you can bring as many beds as you need and as many types of beds as you need. On top of all that, they seem to be accurately priced, which is rare for Star Citizen. So who are these ships for? Well, here we have another one that could be for anyone. Maybe you just need some tier 1 med beds to spawn from, or maybe you are actually interested in getting one to be a doctor. It doesn't matter, because at some point, we will all need to heal. And that's both inside the game and out. I imagine using the triage, which I suspect will be faster, as medical transportation, but also as my on-ground medical clinic for people who get hurt on the job around my bases and outposts, and for visitors looking to heal their injuries. The medevac I would have out in a more active role, doing emergency pickups and drop-offs. I would also use the medevac as a daily driver type ship when I'm just going from point A to point B, because the likelihood of finding someone who needs medical help while I'm just out and about is extremely high. I know you're here for our rating, but if you really want a ship, go buy it. We won't stop you. Or even better, all ships can be earned in-game once the game releases, and some you can purchase in-game right now. These are just our ratings, but when you spend, it's your money. My opinion? This will be the best medical ship in the entire game because of its versatility and ability to cover every ailment. I also think this is one of those ships where the price will head north before it officially arrives, because at the current price, it seems to be worth it. Play the CCU game anyway, of course, but this one, I'm putting it in the fleet, folks, and I can't wait until I can fly it. Here's hoping for a 2025 release. All right, that is it for this one. Shout out to the members. Thanks for spending your time with us. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.